Hello, Patriots. Well, I've got one for you today. I'm calling it the Champagne Socialists, the Bernie and AOC show. What we've got on them, you want to stay to the end and see the actual video proof of what I'm going to talk about today. Hi, I'm Dr. Ken Henry, and this is Conservative Commentary, where we spread the MAGA message. Hey, if you would, please do me a favor. If you find value in this video, please like it, comment about it, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really does help us grow and get the MAGA message out. They tell you they're fighting for the working class. They say billionaires are the enemy. They rage against capitalism from podiums decorated with slogans about fairness, equity, and justice. But when it's time to fly to one of their rallies, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders don't hop on Southwest with the rest of us. They charter a $15,000 per hour private jet like the very oligarchs they claim to loathe. That's right. The same politicians who scream about climate change, wealth inequity, and corporate greed are burning jet fuel at a rate that would make Jeff Bezos blush. And all this while lecturing Americans, especially those in the heartland, about our carbon footprints and privilege. This is the left's game. Say one thing, live another. Preach austerity for the masses, luxury for themselves. Start with the obvious, the environmental hypocrisy. AOC is the face of the so-called Green New Deal, an economic fantasy disguised as a climate initiative that would effectively bankrupt the country in the name of sustainability. She wants to ban gas cars, regulate cow emissions, and eliminate air travel as we know it. But when she needs to show up and rally the troops, she skips the commercial terminal entirely and boards a private jet, one of the worst contributors to carbon emissions per passenger. Hey, you can't make this up. Bernie Sanders isn't any better. For decades, he's positioned himself as the man of the people, fighting the billionaire class from the podium of his multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio. Remember when he admitted with a straight face that he has a $600,000 vacation home because he works hard? Must be nice. And now he's flying private too, presumably because the populist who rails against the elite simply can't sit next to the rest of us and coach. What's astonishing is not just the hypocrisy, it's the shamelessness. These politicians don't even try to hide it anymore. They know the corporate media will run interference for them, spinning their high-flying lifestyles as logistical necessities or claiming it's okay because they're fighting for change. But if Donald Trump, or any Republican for that matter, did the same thing, it would be wall-to-wall coverage. CNN would hold a 24-hour special on right-wing climate crimes. Let's be clear, this is not just about jet fuel. It's about trust. It's about integrity. How can Americans take seriously the words of politicians who condemn the wealthy while living like royalty? It reminds me of George Orwell's Animal Farm. How can anyone believe AOC and Bernie when they talk about sacrifice and fairness, but they themselves are unwilling to sacrifice an ounce of convenience or comfort? It's also a slap in the face of the very people they claim to represent, the working class Americans who are paying $4 for a gallon of gas and scraping together rent, while AOC and Bernie sip champagne at 40,000 feet. These are the same people being told they have to drive less, fly less, eat less meat, and ultimately expect less, all while their supposed champions live like the Rockefellers. The irony is that Trump, for all the left's hatred of him, never pretended to be something he's not. He's rich. He flies his own private plane. He lives in gold-plated buildings, and he has never apologized for it. Why? Because he's honest about who he is, and because he doesn't pretend to be the second coming of Mother Teresa while chartering Gulfstreams. Contrast that with AOC, who posts Instagram stories from her luxury apartment in D.C., telling young Americans to embrace socialism because capitalism is irredeemable. Or Bernie, whose campaign bought nearly $2 million worth of private air travel during his 2020 presidential run, all while denouncing the millionaire and billionaire class. That's not leadership, that's grift. The reality is this modern progressive movement is not about principles. It's about performance. It's not about lifting up the poor, it's about elevating the politician. AOC and Bernie don't want a revolution, they want relevance. They want to ride the wave of populist frustration straight to power, wealth, and celebrity. And they don't care if they have to burn a few thousand gallons of jet fuel to get there. To be clear, No one is saying politicians can't travel, but if you're going to spend your entire career lecturing Americans about their carbon footprint and demonizing the rich, maybe don't do it while reclining in leather seats on a private jet that costs more per hour than most Americans make in a month. This is why so many people are done with the phony moralism of the progressive left. It's all talk, no walk. Americans are waking up. They see through the theatrics. They're tired of being told they're the problem while the supposed saviors live lavishly on campaign donations and taxpayer-funded perks. Donald Trump, for all of his flaws, spoke directly to the forgotten men and women of this country. He didn't talk down to them. He didn't pretend to be poor. He didn't try or fly to rallies and to scold them for using plastic straws. He stood up and said America first, and he meant it. If AOC and Bernie want to fly private, fine. But spare us a sermon. Stop pretending you're fighting the oligarchy when you're using their jets. Stop claiming you're saving the planet while polluting more in a weekend than most of us do in a year. And stop insulting the intelligence of everyday Americans with your double standards. Because the truth is simple. If your revolution requires $15,000 an hour jet, it's not a revolution. It's a scam. Take a look at the following, and then please share your thoughts in the comments.